It's top of the morning, you know the vibes. This is the Source Experience, the news by Shanewz. So, this morning I got a couple, topics that I want to touch on. I like to get out and about, right? Um, the mind state of two different coaches because yesterday, shout out to Bomac and I think Fight Hub might have released something too. But I'm gonna get to some videos and interviews, right? Um, Yesterday was the media workout. I wanted to come back on, me how I move and groove, man. I get a lot of stuff out throughout the day, whether it's shorts or remixes and things of that nature. But the content will get out. But I want to start the day off with two coaches' mindsets, right? Let's just get to it.
Fighter two fights at 168. We could expect a different. Just talking about Arrow. Big talks about it. Is national times being gone. What's gonna happen with the rematch? What's the talks about? I know you always say I think that's what fight tell me. I don't know about it. Not even a hint of maybe.
All right. That's Derek James, right? This is the biggest problem in boxing, right? Everything is always a secret, right? Everything is always a secret. That was Marco, Fight Hub TV asked him, since Showtime is out, whatever, what's going on basically with the rematch. He doesn't know nothing, right? See, coaches and the people and the players in the game, they're so programmed to always say, I don't know nothing, I don't know nothing. And I'm going to play it on some more, right?
Not even a hint of maybe going to rematch at 150. That point, I'm sure they already signed that or whatever. But I don't know anything about that either. But I just know.
Listen to what he just said again, right? I'm going to stop it again. He sold these people, and I said these people, I'm not singling Derek James out, right? But they are so programmed to always not telling what's going on because they're not allowed to or whatever, for whatever reason, right? That he just contradicted himself, right? Um, he says, Marco asked him about, whatever, 154 the weight. What did Derek respond? Say, oh, I don't know nothing, but I'm pretty sure that they signed all that, but I don't know nothing. So what is it? Do you not know? Did it sign? What? Biggest turnoff as a media person, wanting to interview and speak with these people, right? When you ask them a question and they can't answer or they don't know nothing, right? It's like, just instead of saying you don't know nothing, right? Because we all know you guys know. I'm going into what, my 11th professional fight camp, right? We know a lot. Just say the truth. You're not allowed to speak on it. You're not allowed to speak on it. That is a better answer. But hey, what do I know?
But I just know what they talking about. At 154, what can we expect from Spence? Tyson Crawford. He won't be so drained, he won't be so depleted or whatever. That was.
All right, he won't be so drained and he won't be so depleted at 154. So the whole build-up to the undisputed, he was drained and depleted, but yet we was told that this was one of his best training camps. He had a nutritionist. He had all of these things going on. More excuses. More excuses. So at 54, extra 7 pounds, he won't be as depleted. He won't be as drained. But let's continue on.
That wasn't the issue. You know what I'm saying? Brother fought a good fight. Before had a great game plan, right? And so he was told by his coach. So it's not like you better got it there.
Let's stop it. Wow. Derrick James just admitted that he was out coached. If you heard what he just said, I'll bring it back. He just admitted to being out coached. He just admitted to it.
So, whatever. I mean, just, that wasn't the issue. You know what I'm saying? Brother fought a good fight. Before had a great game plan, right? And so he was told by his coach. So it's not like you better got it there.
Let's stop it, man. He just admitted to being out coached. Crawford had a better game plan. Coaching. Can't hide no more, Derrick. What did Bo Mac tell him? Can't hide no more, Derrick. Coaching. But what led up to this, right? Arrogance. Not being humble led up to this. What was the build up to the fight? One coach was humble, Bo Mac, giving Derrick his accolades, his flowers. The other coach, Derrick James, arrogant, to say the least, an asshole, which I call him, and I'll tell him to his face this. I don't study film. Crawford's fought nobody. He's been built up. And we've seen how it played out. But now we hear Derrick James admitting to being out-coached. And now I want to bring this into perspective, right? I think the reason why Derrick James was out-coached because Derrick James is like a lot of the people that rally for him on this YouTube. They really don't support. They're really not about actions. They are about pushing narratives or whatever the popular pick is, right? Because Bo Mac was fat, he was out of weight, he was overweight. Everything was always about him eating Cheetos and being big and, his appearance, right? It wasn't about what he was doing as a coach and preparing his fighter. And a lot of people that come on this YouTube and discuss boxing, that's what they got caught into. But they didn't pay attention to the game plan, what Derrick James just stated, the preparation part. Whereas Bo Mac and Red and Saul and Bernie, they was preparing. Derrick James was doing the latter. Wasn't studying film, was talking down on his opponent, and the outcome was the outcome. But now you hear him admitting to being out-coached. He had a better game plan. So now he's saying in the rematch, Earl Spence won't be his weight drained at 154. Well, what are you going to do, Derrick? Are you going to be better prepared? Are you going to make adjustments? Because the added 7 pounds, he won't be weight drained. But will he be prepared?
Even going back to the fight that you're mentioning with Charlo and Canelo, do you feel like maybe if Charlo probably had maybe another fight or two fights at 168, we could expect a different outcome when he faced Canelo? No, I don't know. I think it's a question of
Wow. We stop it, man. Hopefully his fighters watch some of these things and listen, right? This is their general, their coach, right? That was a great question. Great question. Marco asked him, do you think your fighter who you train, been with, maybe 1 or 2 fights at 168, he would have been, what's his name? Did you hear his response? I'm going to play it again, but I want to give my assessment on his response, right? And when I say this, it's going to offend, like I said, the people who on here that don't really, they're just on here, right? This is going to offend them. But this is the truth. This is my assessment. This is your fighter, supposed to be your fighter. You just said you have to ask him. He asked you. You don't know your fighter? You don't know your own fighter that you train, that you work with, allege, that you're the trainer of the year, the trainer. So you don't know if your fighter would have had 2 fights at 168, he would have been better. You have to ask him. So what are you getting paid to do? What is I know your job title is trainer coach, but you don't know that from training your fighter, if he would have fought twice or whatever Marco asked you 2 times at 168, he would have been a little better. You said you would have to ask him. No, he asked you, and you are his trainer, his coach. You guys need to start listening, especially you fighters that hire people like this, that work with people like this. And I hope this gets y'all upset, but this is the truth. Listen to what the man said. This is your coach. I'm not saying this shit. I'm breaking it down for y'all this morning. That's all I'm doing. I'm breaking it down for y'all this morning. This is what your coach said.
Another fight or 2 fights at 168. We could expect a different outcome when he faced Canelo. I don't know. I think it's a question of answer. I think that there's life. Lives happen. Like you step up.
See these guys, and back to stopping it again, right? You hear the mind state of a coach. This guy is so programmed to always not know. I don't know, you have to ask him. This program. He just asked you. You train him. You don't know your fighter? It's obvious you don't. That's why you want him to ask him. But what are you doing, though, Derek? And please tell me I'm hating on him. No, I'm not hating on him. I'm doing what a lot of y'all are supposed to be doing. We talk boxing every day, right, B? That don't make no sense. If you're his trainer, you don't know your fighter? You have to ask him. But you're so programmed to always not knowing or not giving answers. I don't know. You have to ask him. So maybe Charlo, you might want to bring Juan Guzman up and let him captain the ship, because this guy doesn't know you. He don't know if you'd have had 2 fights at 168, you'd have been a little more comfortable. He don't know you. But this is the guy that is leading the ship. But he don't know you. So am I wrong for making this assessment? This is what he's saying. This is what he is saying. I'm listening to this. Unlike a lot of you other content creators, I listen. You guys don't listen.
No, I think it's a question of answer. I think that there's life. Lives happen. Like step up situations. People lose, other people don't step up. People lose, people say.
Shut up, man.
How many people have back there make the most money ever made in their life? So it's a really bad day. Just ask how many people, right? Yeah. Had a bad day. A really bad day.
That was the cop out right there, right? That's what I wanted y'all to hear, the cop out, right? That was the cop out to try to make us forget or not think about what he just exposed himself on, right? The money, making him having a bad day, making the most money in his life. So I guess you could classify Earl Spencer that too. Had the worst day of his life, the worst performance, but he made the most money. But these are the guys this is the coach that is leading these guys in the battle. So hopefully you fighters listen to this. Mel Charlo and Earl Spence. Your careers are on the back nine. But like I was saying, the jig is up, right? The jig has been up, right? With you guys. It is what it is, man. Hopefully y'all caught that sauce. Play that back. I'll probably do some remixes on that. I'm not gonna stay on that for too long because I want to get to Bomac now. It's something that Bomac stated about the IBF and stripping of Terrence because it kind of solidifies some other stuff that I got going on and what I was speaking on and about the deal being in place. So let's listen to Bomac. This is courtesy of Fight Hype. That was Fight Hub, Marcos. Well, I'll probably put some remixes out on it. But this is Fight Hype with Bomac.
What do you think of the IBS ruling stripping Terrence a couple days ago? Well, it's kind of biased how they treat Terrence, and he kind of set fucked up with shit, but we have to believe the cops. We got that undisputed title, and they can't take that away from him.
Yes, you heard what he just said. Bias towards Terrence, but the most important thing that he said, and I think I stated this as well, regardless of them stripping Terrence, they can't erase what he was. He became undisputed, regardless. But he's going to touch on something else that I told you guys, right? Start listening to people that really do this with a passion, that's not out here trying to get over, that's actually paying attention and then coming on giving assessments and actually reporting, right? He's going to say about Bozy applying the pressure on the IBF. And I told you guys 2 months ago, a deal was in place. A deal was in place. So it did not surprise me when Terrence was stripped because Terrence is not the IBF favorite. Earl Spence was the IBF favorite. IBF belt was the first belt that Earl Spence won. The IBF, some might say, was protecting Earl Spence from fighting Boots Ennis because Boots Ennis was been supposed to fight Earl Spence, but they kept prolonging it. They didn't mandate it. They didn't make them fight. They allowed him to fight Terrence. Now, had he won against Terrence, what did Earl say he was going to do? He was going to move up. Remember this, right? So Boots probably would have had all likelihood got the belt how he's getting the belt now, right? But when you think about it, right? When you think about what took place, Terrence won. They never ordered Terrence to fight Boots, right? But Terrence was stripped of the belt because the deal was in place. But let's listen to Bomac, and then I'll go more on this.
Now they can't take that away from you. Take everything else. They can't take that. That's it. You mentioned bias against Terrence and how quickly they stripped him. When you got on their names, but you got this guy holding on to him for 3 years. Why do you think they did that? It probably was a little pressure from what's his name? Lieutenants. In his camp, because they had been pressure for a while. They was pressure for a Spence fight, so when the title changed hands, so things just happen, it's hard, cool. We got what we needed.
They got what they needed. The News by Shanewz. Pressure from the Ennis camp. See, this was in place. This was in place. The deal was already set, man. So you get all these content creators coming on here doing what they do, gossiping. But if you listen and pay attention, 2 months ago, it was pretty much out there that this was going to happen. That Boots Ennis was going to be upgraded. It just so happened that Terrence won. Because if Terrence had lost to Earl Spence's plans was already to go to 54. The belts was going to all be up for grabs or whatever. But unfortunately, Earl Spence got dominated, got exposed. Yes, I said exposed. Beat up bad. And he wasn't the champion. He wasn't undisputed. So the belts couldn't be vacated. Terrence was holding on to them, right? Because he won. And now he had the ace high card as far as um, calling the shots, what is going to be done. So he was initially stripped of a belt. But I want to say this too, right? And this is no shot at Boots. But I just go off of actions and stuff. You guys are on here speaking on, you know, Terrence didn't want to fight him, right? Boots had an opportunity to fight Terrence when he was moving up in the WBO. Do y'all remember that? A lot of y'all probably don't or do. Or it's just like Earl Spence being under whatever he was under at the times when he caught the horrific car crash and he was charged with a DUI and you guys didn't want to, come to those terms that he was drinking and doing all this stuff, right? The same thing with the Boots Ennis thing right here. But I'm not on no drinking thing. I'm just saying Boots Ennis was in the WBO. He would have had put himself in position to fight Terrence over there. But he exited out the WBO to jump into the IBF. Right? In the IBF. So now I see he did an interview where he says Terrence is still on the radar. Why? Why is he on the radar? You got the belt. If he was on the radar, maybe you should have forced the fight for the belt. But hey, what do I know? But like I said, congratulations to you. Um, you are a legitimate champion. Let's see what the future holds for you. But yes, this is just the mindset of the two coaches. I'm gonna remix the Fight Hub later on to show you how Derrick James admitted to being out coached, in so many words. But you can't hide no more, Derrick. I want to remix the fact that Derrick James doesn't know his fighters. He doesn't know his fighters, man. He was asked a great question. And I love when these guys like Marco, especially Marco, not the other guys, a lot of the other guys, because they get Derrick James and they won't ask questions. They just want to be friends or they forget that they're journalists. Marco, great question. And see, guys like Marco, Derrick is obligated to answer. When other guys, he could, because they, certain channels, right, politically wise, I'm speaking now, they know that they can't do them how they do other channels. So that was a great question when he asked him, do you think if your fighter that you trained would have had a couple more fights at 160, it would have been a better fight. He doesn't know. So you don't know your fighter. Jamel Charlo, he doesn't know you. You need to answer that. But this is the guy that trains you. Maybe you need to do some reevaluating. But I like how he tried to clean it up and highlighting the money. That's what they do because dummies get fooled over money, right? Dummies get fooled over money. Oh, well, who else makes the most money when they have the worst days? It doesn't matter. You've been having the worst couple of days as a coach, and you're making a lot of money. But that you're not getting better as a coach. Frank Martin, terrible performance. Maybe that's why he didn't take the Shakur Stevenson fight that's coming up this Thursday. Because he's not ready. Anthony Joshua, terrible performance against a guy that Deontay Wilder stopped in less than 2 minutes. Terrible performance. Then Earl Spence, we already know what happened. Jamel Charlo, bended the knee. We already know what happened. But it is what it is, man. I'm going to wrap this up. I still got a little bit more time, but I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like I got in my speaking points. I want to head out the door a little earlier because I want to read some more. I was already reading. And I want to, I'm on 5 books now, man. So I want to knock out 2 more, or at least try to attempt to knock out a second. So that'll give me 3 for the remainder of the day. Everything is about habits and, time preparation. Now, normally, like I said, I would have gave this to you throughout the day, but I wanted to be able to be at the desk and allow you to hear the actual things that I'm speaking on, So when I do critique it and break it down, it holds more value. And also for my personal selfish reasons, because I like to set the pace. I know a lot of other content creators aren't up right now. I know a lot of other content creators aren't on their creative juices, ain't flowing like this, but maybe now it will, but as long as I put it out there already and it's stamped and I have it stamped, and then, others take it and run with it, it is what it is, right? When it's already out there in the source catalog, source library. Check out the interviews that are up. I did a phenomenal fire interview with John the Tank Sherman, this fella right here, and my guy Fitness. Those are out and about right now. Definitely support the content, And I want to see if the other guy gets Evans on. He wants to debate him. These content creator guys are a trip. You want to debate him. Why don't you interview him? Why do you want to debate him? Because he exposed you? Because he calls you out? Like, you're supposed to be media. Get my alkaline water in instead of a coffee, right? I'm trying to switch it up. No coffee in the morning no more. Maybe a tea. I'm getting my water in first thing in the morning. I put the water in here. But listen, salute to everybody that's gonna play this playback game. The vibes, man. This is the Source Experience. The news by Shanewz.
This is the news by Shanewz.
I was playing, man. I told you I was coming back to the city of Cowboy, Tulsa, Oklahoma, seek and destroy. You know the vibes. Yeehaw! Hey, this is.
Hey guys, this is Tiana Tuimu-Helua. I'm a top-ranked knockout, and I want to give a shout out to Sauce Talk Podcast.
Thank you. You know the vibes.